almost every day or every week or every month, you earn money, right? So we say, how about every time you spend or every time you earn, you save a percentage of that money automatically.
Accountability is the highest form of organizational and also individual responsibility. Now, this is because it charts a course for future winnings. So what then is a connection that exists between financial management and accountability? Welcome to Africa Business Radio. I am Nonso Mordi. Joining me to have this talk about the connection between financial management and accountability is Christiana Okere, co-founder of myStash and founder of Indigi Foods. Welcome, Christiana. It's a pleasure to have you here, literally in the studio.
Thank you so much. It's great to be here. Thank you, Nonso.
All right. Now let's start with this. What are the objectives of, financial management?
I think it's important that we first, understand what financial management is in the first place, right? True. So the way I say it and the way, literally, it just means managing your finances, right? Planning things out well, structuring things out well, how money moves in and out, and of course, executing that plan well, right? So just orchestrating that whole process of, money moving in and out of your life, if it's personal finance management, and your business, if it's business, management, and as a nation, if it's, national financial management. So that's really what that is about. Okay. And then about the objective of financial management. I mean, it's important to plan, like they say. When you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? Yes. So true. I mean, it goes without saying that it's important to manage one's finances, to plan things out, so you know where things are going, how money is flowing, and you'll be able to can account for that eventually. So yeah,
I like that you spoke about accounting for your money, because that brings my next question. I said this is about connection between accountability and financial management. So what now is the connection? What brings both of them together?
I mean, I think they go hand in hand. Okay. A person who is accountable is a person who can manage his or her finances well, right? When you're able to manage your money well, record the inflow, the outflow, orchestrate things well enough, then you'll be able to tell someone else how it happened, where money went to, if something is missing, why. So a person who is accountable, a person who is responsible, who is reasonable with money is a great financial manager, and that is how those two things together, relate. Yes.
Now, I agree with you that accountability and financial management come together, so you have to be accountable to know how your money flows. Yes. But I would say that there are factors that affect this financial management, and accountability, let's say in Nigeria. And I would like you to touch on them, because imagine, let me paint a scenario, someone who is not earning so much. I mean, and probably between maybe getting your salary end of the month and within a week, the money is gone. Now, you can't really say that person is not accountable. It's just the circumstances. So please touch on these factors that affect it.
You're very right. Several things affect, how you manage your money and how you're able to account for that money, right? And like you said, some things can be your fault, some things cannot be your fault, right? So I would classify them as, say, intrinsic factors. That's things that, are kind of your fault. And then extrinsic factors. So, intrinsic in the sense that, for example, if you're someone who maybe you just naturally don't know how to manage money. Like you have bad habits. Like you want to flex, YOLO. You understand now. You know how we roll in this our youthful age. So, you want to flex, have fun. You don't really care about, where money is going to. Once it comes into your hands, it's flying away.
Yes, it's going.
If you're that person, honey, you're not going to be able to manage your money well, right? And you'll not be accountable. So that's like an intrinsic factor. Your habits determine that. Then for extrinsic, I mean, Nigeria now, Sakpa is everywhere.
It is, my sister.
And, if you're someone who doesn't earn that much, it may be difficult for you to, to not really manage, but to save some money, and all that. So managing might be a hard thing for you to do if you don't earn much, right? And of course, things are expensive in the markets. So it may be difficult to manage that, spending because things are expensive. You have to buy basic things, food and all that. So it may be difficult to manage to the point of being able to save some and invest some somehow. So definitely these factors affect how people manage money and how they are accountable for the money. Yes.
Now, thank God you mentioned saving because that's another aspect that we should look at when we're talking about financial management. Now, with your experience, with your company, what would you say the financial management culture, most especially the saving culture in Nigeria, is like?
Okay, so I'll be somewhat lenient. Okay. So, I mean, we're all different. People are different. The people who really, really want to save, but like we have talked about, you don't earn much, and they feel, I can't save. I can't really save because I don't earn much in the first place, and I have basic needs I need to meet, right? And the people who earn enough, but they are doing YOLO, so they don't save, they don't think of saving. So I mean, we're all different, and what we've done in my company, myStash, is we have found a way to meet all those different kind of people's needs.
Okay.
So for people who say, I don't earn much, so I can't even save, I have to buy food, buy this, buy that, we tell them, if you're spending every day, why can't you also save every day? Right? I mean, if you're buying food, why can't you say, when I buy food, let me save this percentage too? Like paying tax yourself. Just the way you pay tax to government when you spend, right? And you don't even know what tax is being deducted automatically if you're spending. So why can't you save money automatically as you're spending? So that's what myStash does, right, with people and your finances.
All right. Now, that's interesting that you said that. So how does it work at myStash? I would like to look at two aspects because they're individuals and they're also businesses, organization. They need to save as well, because you're going to pay the employees and all of that. So how is it structured at myStash? How do people get to save better?
Yes. So I mean, let me give a scenario. So let's say it's a new year, right? Okay. Everyone is jubilating, Happy New Year, Happy New Year. And then I say, you know what, this year is my year of saving. I'm going to save at least 5K per month. Let me tell you guys now, you mean it. Resolutions are made, right?
Yes, exactly.
By February, March, you're asking yourself, how much have I even saved this month? Like, you're just doubting yourself. You're like, can I even keep up with this saving stuff? So, because that habit is difficult to maintain. You want to do it, quite honestly, but that habit is difficult to sustain in the long term. So we found a way to plug that habit now into something you do every day. Every day you spend money, right? Almost every day or every week or every month you earn money, right? So we say, how about every time you spend or every time you earn, you save a percentage of that money automatically. Okay. So we found a way to use open banking systems like Mono, Okra and the rest to plug that savings into your everyday lifestyle. So as you go about everyday spending, as you go about every week or every month earning, automatically that percentage you set is saved automatically in myStash. So that's our B2C core product, right? Okay. And then as an employer, right, you can also leverage myStash technology to help your employees to save automatically from their salary. Okay. Even before it gets to them, because let's face it, as employees, we say, this month, don't worry, once they pay me, I'm going to keep, say, 10K aside. Once the money comes, you see excuses start popping up in your head, right? So instead of those excuses, instead of, waiting till the money comes, why not automatically have that money removed from payroll point, right? And then saved, the best part, saved in dollars, not even naira. Because we all know how Naira has been falling for a while now, right? So that's a different story. So we're saying instead of you even saving in Naira, saving dollars. So as an employer, you can help your employees with myStash tech to automatically save a percentage every single month in dollars from that point of payroll, right? So, and of course you earn interest on that savings. It's not just saving that you earn interest on it. So that's for employers. And then also for business people, as you sell, on every sale you make, you can tell the myStash app to save a percentage automatically.
Interesting.
So it's like, instead of you waiting till end of day or end of month or end of week to start separating the profits, right? Why not stash or save those profits on every single sale you make, right? So we have kind of tailored our products to meet, everyday Nigerian, youth, and then of course employers and employees, and then business people. So everyone, everyone is good, everyone is cool, everyone can save comfortably, and of course saving dollars to hedge against inflation and protect the value of your money. So
I must say, I think that's myStash unique selling point, and I also get the name myStash. It's like money that you just keep aside.
You just stash it.
I like that. Yes. Now let's talk about technology, and its impact on financial management, because she spoke about open banking technologies and how myStash is leveraging. So how has your company leveraged on this automation, open technologies to help Africans people to save and spend better? Because this technology needs to be good enough for people to trust it. So how has it been?
Yes. And, it's interesting because, as I had said almost 2 years ago, open banking wasn't even a thing in Nigeria, right?
Yes, I agree.
And myStash wouldn't have existed without open banking technology. So we're grateful for that, actually. And, it's still evolving, right? Open banking still has its challenges, right? Because how it works is that the open banking system has to detect when you have spent, so we can then save for you. So if it doesn't detect it, we cannot save. And at the moment, we have those, minor moments when those systems fail to recognize when you've spent money. So what we're doing at myStash to mitigate that tech problem now, that's open banking issue, is to build our own in-house proprietary data scraping tool that can tell when you have spent or when you have earned and then save for you automatically, right? So instead of waiting for open banking to perfect itself, we're trying to also do what we can in-house to develop technologies that can perform the same function as OPBs. Yes. So.
Interesting. Now, I want to ask, because I like this type of platform and I feel like everybody, like you said, should. Now, what happens to the I don't want to use lower class, but then let's say the market women now, people that might not really know how to use technology and all of that. How does myStash also cut across to this set of people as well? Because someone like me now, obviously, it's something easy that I can use my phone, but someone who doesn't have that luxury of, let me say, a good phone, let me use that as a factor. So how does myStash cater to those? Because we're talking about financial management and accountability, and companies like myStash helps to do that. So how do you cater to these people?
Great question. And surprisingly, we even have customers who don't have Android phones. Yes,
wow.
But they do have friends who have Android phones, and because they really want to use the app, they meet their friends and use their own phones to log in. And then of course, aside the mobile app, we have a web app, so you can always use a URL to access the web app, right? But one thing we want to also do is that we want to, of course, have this solution reach even people who don't have, Android phones and all of that. So we are looking at integrating mobile money, right? Okay. Because that would help us, reach the mass market and reach people who don't have this, advanced technological phones to browse the internet and all of that. So yes, that's one route we're looking at, mobile money for sure.
Interesting. Yes. That will definitely help, because things like this shouldn't just be for a set. It needs to spread. So, everybody has to get the knowledge. Now, speaking on financial accountability now, financial management, I would like to ask, are there limitations to it? To financial management per se, because I was thinking of it the other day, and yes, I know part of it is you want to keep money for rainy day, like we like to put it, but are there risks, are there limitations to this financial accountability, financial management?
I mean, when you say risks, risks to I can't imagine that there are risks to managing your money. But it depends on how you manage it, though. It depends on what you're doing with the money. If you're undertaking risky investments or going to risky platforms that are not well, licensed or they're not compliant with regulations, then of course there are risks there, right? If you're investing in very, very extremely risky investment, there are risks there, right? So it depends on what you're getting yourself into, and of course what platforms you're leveraging to manage your finances. I agree. Definitely be very watchful of that.
So still on financial accountability. Now I know we've spoken around it, but please spell out how important, how relevant it is for individuals to grow and for businesses to grow. So how important is financial accountability?
It cannot be overemphasized. It cannot. For individuals, for businesses, for a nation. I mean, let's begin with our nation first of all. Let's begin with the national part before we get to individual part, because we've been on individual parts for a long time now. Yes. So let's look at the national part. So for a nation, it's clear that as a nation, if you're not managing your finances well enough, you would not move forward. You would not go anywhere.
I agree.
And
totally.
We have a very good example here and now, Nigeria, clearly. So, for various reasons, corruption, lack of skills, lack of discipline and, skills and the right people in power and all that in the right places to manage these things well. Due to all those factors, we've had these loopholes and, we are just bleeding financially and collecting loans here and there and owing countries, right? And you can see it's very clear the consequences of not managing your finances well as a nation,
how bad it is.
Right? As a business, it's even worse because, it's your business. If it's not well managed, it's going to just go down the next day.
Collapse.
Zero, right? Collapse automatically. So it goes without saying. For an individual, if you want to grow, if you want to, achieve more, if you want to have a business someday, or just if you want to be comfortable in life, you have to know how to manage your finances well enough and be accountable and be responsible. So it's a skill. It's a life skill, I would say. So it goes without saying that it's important on any level, individual, business or national level. It's very important.
Exactly. I agree. Accountability is really something we are lacking here, and that's why we're in the mess that we are in now.
Yes.
Okay, before I let you go, tell us about your experience, what gave birth to myStash and how has it been so far? I mean, you said something, it's 2 years now, and how's the journey been? You must have met so many kinds of people. I know you said something about being lenient, so you must have seen people that are like, why can't you manage your money? That kind of thing. So how's it been?
Well, let me just say this. We began sometime last year, actually.
Okay.
So almost a year now. And it's been something, working with my team, and we had that from the onset, actually. It was just, one of my team members had this experience with money and he was just us about it. And, from there we began to iterate and just talk to people, do research, iterate, and over several iterations, we just came up with this idea of, why not plug savings into people's lifestyle and see how it goes. And we tested, and so far we've grown to over 6,000 customers.
Wow.
And saving, and it's been something. You meet different kinds of people who really want to save. They're like, in fact, people have different preferences. Some people prefer to save as they spend, right?
Okay.
Some people prefer saving as they earn exclusively. Some people want to combine all of them. Different kinds of people. And personally, I interface with customers a lot. So I get to, talk to them on a personal level, and they tell me, oh, I'm really grateful, because with this, my money that I stashed so far, I was able to pay, this bill or that bill. Or, oh, I even forgot I even had an account on myStash safe. I just remember suddenly I was like, oh, thank God. Some people, because it's so unconscious. It's an unconscious way of saving, because it's plug and play. You just plug and then it just saves as you go. Save as you spend, save as you earn. You don't even have to think about it, right? It's not a conscious thing you have to do. So you forget you even have a savings plan in myStash. And then on the day you have an emergency or something, you recall and you're like, oh yes, I have that myStash. And you check and you see, boom, you have a lot of savings already, right? So people have different experiences, and it's just fulfilling seeing that the product has been really helping people. Even in fact, people who have gone and taken loans because they have money stashed up. you didn't have to take loans, right?
Yeah.
So this kind of experience and testimonies just inspire you to want to do more and continue and keep going and keep adding value to people's lives, and that's just exciting.
Yeah.
Yes.
So myStash is a lifesaver now.
Yes, it is.
Nice. So how do we sign in? I mean, you're already selling me. So how? What
Definitely.
kind of platforms? How do you do your?
Yes.
You said your plan. So
Yes.
what?
So I mean, it's very simple. We have a mobile app on Play Store. So we also have a web app. If you go to app.mystash.ng, so app.mystash.mystash.ng, simply sign up, your name, basic details, sign up, and then of course you link your bank account to the myStash app, because that's how the app will know when you have spent or earned, and then save for you, right? And then of course you activate your then you put the instructions in. Of course, tell the app how you want to be saving. Do you want to save when you spend or save when you earn? And then fix the percentage you want to save, right? Then activate that, and then that's all. Just 4 simple steps, you're good to go. Then if as an employer you want to leverage myStash for your employees, then we have that plan too. It's called Safe Check, by the way.
Wow.
So Safe Check. So
Interesting
it's coined from the word paycheck. So you save a percentage of your paycheck. We're good with names like that. We're very cool on names. So Safe Check, save a percent of your paycheck every month, right? In dollars, by the way. Very key, in dollars, because we're all about value. So we have that too. And of course, you as a business person too, you can also leverage Save as you sell. So call it Say Sell. So so we have all those plans for different people. So definitely, if you go to mystash.ng, you can find all the details you need on that. And of course, we're always available to talk to customers via WhatsApp, email, and calls. Definitely. Yes.
Amazing. I've really had an interesting conversation with you, and I mean, myStash is really a beautiful concept. And like I said, I love the name. It's easy and it's goes straight to the point. myStash. This is what I kept so far. So really, thank you for coming to the studio and for sharing with our listeners. I know that they will pick more than, I won't say 1 or 2, because this is more than 1 or 2, but they'll pick something from it.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
All right. That was Christiana Okere, co-founder of myStash and founder of Indigi Foods. More coming your way. Stay tuned.